Hey, it's been a while. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I intend to do with my channel. As I'm talking, you're going to see old clips of my old videos, me explaining what I plan to do going forward, right? When YouTube was older, it was easier to get something off the ground. You weren't competing for the same space, right? So a lot of us just had very simple, basic, very unprofessional channels that some people had great success with. And now, as the space has got more creative and more people have grown up with YouTube and taken it more seriously, there are some exceptional quality videos out there. So you have channels, I mean, from someone restoring supercars that are wrecked to car specific channels like BMW channels and Toyota channels and Mustang channels and American Muscle channels and just video comparisons and video reviews and things like that. So the idea that there's something new to be unlocked is very difficult and unlikely. But you could have your own take on something you enjoy doing. And that's kind of where I'm heading, and hopefully something that I can relate to other people, whether they be young or older or whatever. A lot of us have different budgets, right? So some of these channels we watch essentially has become pure entertainment. The average person cannot buy or sell or build or restore supercars or race them or modify them and make them 2,000 horsepower and things like that, right? We all enjoy the content. I do. I watch tons of hours of this stuff. YouTube has basically replaced TV for me, with some exceptions, right? I'm 41, so I still watch reruns of Seinfeld and things like that, right? So, but YouTube consumes most of my time, from travel vlogs to just car building and things like that. But something that I've noticed is a lot of these channels are entertainment because it's things that the average person can't achieve at whatever point in their life. There's plenty of people in the middle of their career, and there's plenty of people who are just getting started, and there's plenty of people who just live an average, normal life. Not everybody has 300 grand to dump into a car. So I think every modification, every modest change someone does to a cheap car or something personal to them has a lot more intimate value. And there is some entertainment there, obviously, because YouTube essentially is just entertainment, aside from things, the obvious things where you can get a how-to guide to fix something, build something, things like that. And the easiest thing to sustain is something that you don't have to invest a lot of money in. So I figured something that I enjoy doing as it is. I'm not a very social person, but when it comes to cars, I can end up talking to people for hours that I don't even know, right? Car shows, things like that. So I figured something maybe we can all relate to is just videos, not necessarily reviews. There's a trillion review channels, but a little overview of the average person's car. Average Joe kind of person who has a car they're working on or building on or a project. I mean, obviously, some of these cars are going to vary in taste and modifications and things like that. Obviously, if I got an opportunity to look over someone's car that's very expensive and nice and beautiful, for example, of course I'm not going to turn it down. But who am I, right? No one's contacting me when there's Doug DeMuro's out there, right, to do that for them, right? So, but I would like to say, for example, first video I'm going to use is my brother-in-law's car. He's got a nice Civic. He bought it for cheap, put tons of money in it, through lots of overtime, and just the average person doing realistic goals. And it wasn't a $500,000 build. And he thoroughly enjoys his vehicle. He washes it and he drives it around on sunny days. And he's not doing 0 to 130 runs or anything like that. It's just the car that he looks at and loves and enjoys. And who can't relate to that? Especially something you did, right? You put your hands in it, or have your friends help you work on it, or family or whatever, right? But something that you didn't just buy a car, slap 40,000 in a shop, and just start putting it together in a weekend. That's super entertaining and fun to watch, and also car it can give you a long term goal if you ever hit that level of success. But I think something that's underserved, not necessarily an original idea, but underserved, is the average person's car, right? I like to try to do videos on cars that the average person has. Someone who goes to work at 7 in the morning, comes home at 3. I'm not confining it to that, but I'm just trying to give a gist of what I'm trying to get at, and see how many people in your local community are really just like us and just working hard towards a simple goal, a goal that's personal to them. Not everybody's looking for a 1,500 horsepower daily driver. Some people just want the car they liked when they were a kid. Maybe their dad had a 85 Camaro, but he wants that car to build, restore for nostalgic purposes, emotional purposes, and because it's a cool car. Whatever the reason is, it's irrelevant. Just the fact that it doesn't always have to be, a competition M5, right? So, like me personally, I've had several cars, you know, in the uh, 13s to low 11 range, quarter mile time for those who, you know, if you're watching this, I'm sure you know that. And obviously there's cars that are tons faster, but I think that's the sweet range for cars that can be quick, fun, and usable, right? So, but now that I've kind of went through all that, my last car was a ethanol powered turbo N55 5 Series. That was fun, but it wasn't a manual, and which is not that it's a big deal, but that's what's personal to me. I love manuals, and I want to go back to the feel of some of the older cars. So my personal goals for my own cars is trying to buy older cars that I've had as a kid, make them how I wanted to make them back then. So my personal goal is to take a step back and not necessarily go for a 500 horsepower car, you know, or 600 or 700 horsepower car, and buy a E46 330 CI and just do tasteful mods and just daily drive that every weekend and wash it and wax it, and that's it. Like, that is a more personable, enjoyable experience. I enjoyed the part of my life where I was just dumping money into cars to make them faster, and in the end, it's fun. But experiences, I know that word gets overused in the car industry, but experiences, I think, starts to trump anything else. And the experience of some of these old cars I had, I kept chasing power, and then in hindsight, that you might have a newer, like my F10, has, you know, it's a fantastic car, but you lose that analog. That word is also overused, right? That analog feeling of the car being connected to the road and things like that. So that, parallel to what I'm trying to do in this channel now, is just record people's cars that are local to me or anywhere, really, that I can make some time to go. And I've been doing some traveling to Central America where I'm looking to move, so I'm going to see if I can find some the cars there that I can record and showcase that are worth both of our times, right? And just to focus and showcase the average person's car with modest goals, that their happiness comes from just the experience of owning the car, not just dumping money and having the means to do it, right? There's very fine lines between just trying to satisfy that dopamine hit of, I got an M3, put 100 grand in it, runs nice. Now I'm bored. What can I do now? Buy the latest M3, dump another 100 grand in it. Now it runs 8.9. And, you know, they're fantastic machines, and that applies to a lot of cars, not just M. I just bring up BMW because one of my personal favorite manufacturer, right? But in the end, you know, SN95 with some exhaust work and maybe a pro charger or something where the whole car from purchase of the vehicle to the completion could be $20,000. That to me is just as entertaining because it's something that average person can attain in a short period of time. So hopefully you like where this is going, draw some new people, and we'll see if I can evolve this channel to something useful. I like filming and editing and practicing filming and editing, right? So this is not my retirement plan or anything like that. It's just something fun. And if you're gonna waste a lot of time editing videos that get 100 or 1,000 views, you might as well enjoy it, right? So hopefully you stick around, you like the stuff, and the first car I'm gonna try to do shortly will be my brother-in-law's car. And from there, we'll see what I can find locally in the Western New York area. Thanks for watching.